I have no idea how to start this video diary thing. I was trying to think of something I could say, but I don't know. Hello, I'm back. It is Wednesday the 5th. I think um the past week and a half things have been mentally I just haven't been the greatest. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, I know I don't necessarily need to know why, but I think I'm very much that kind of person where it's like, if I could find the problem or the cause, then maybe I could fix it. It could have been a lot of things because my period started as it does, but then I feel like, does that really matter? Because there's premenstrual, postmenstrual, ludication. I meant luteal, which I'm not exactly sure what that is because actually it's only been recently that I've been having my period again. I think it was a good year where I was just not having it, and I know that's not good, but I have it again, so I think that probably didn't help because it's always for me at least, I'll have a really, really dark kind of day or evening, and then the next day it's oh, surprise, the period's here. Um, Even though it is a monthly thing, it's supposed to be. And I think I was also just realizing that there's certain situations I still kept putting myself in because I kind of thought I could make it work or it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And it kind of just like rubbed salt in the wound. I don't think it was helping me. I didn't think it was going to help me anyways. I just kind of thought I didn't want to cut this situation or people or whatever out of my life completely. But it's clear to me that being in that environment doesn't help me. It kind of just puts me back to being a little girl and just not knowing how to regulate my emotions or not being able to speak up about anything. That's something I'm trying to work on, is just speaking my mind, because I get really stuck in this thing where I think if I say something the right way, or if I use the right words, or if I explain everything clear enough, I will not be misunderstood, or I won't be told that I'm being rude or hypercritical. Because it's never my intention to be critical of people. It's just I see a problem and I'm well, it's a fixable problem, so why don't we work on it? I thought that was kind of just a thing. But I guess when you do it to people, they think you're being an asshole. And that is not my intention whatsoever. Um, it's just more that people's frustrations kind of rub off on me, and I'm well, I don't like that you feel that way, and it's kind of affecting me, so maybe we could work on it together. But I'm trying to just not, I guess, do that, and if people don't want to hear it, then that's their choice. So I just try not to do that anymore unless I'm asked to. And sometimes even when I am asked, it's they didn't actually want that help or advice, so I'm just kind of then why did you ask? I'm trying to remember, there was a point that I was trying to get to, and I forget. Right. Um, I have to remind myself a lot that it really doesn't matter like what you say. People are going to be angry either way, or someone's going to have a problem with it. And people are going to make judgments and they're going to make assumptions. And at this point in time and in my life, and just in general, that really shouldn't matter, I don't think, unless like it's someone I'm really close with and then I'm like actively trying to have some sort of relationship with them. Tom Holland actually said like if you don't have personal access to me, you don't have the right to have a problem with me. And I think that's like so true because I think in unless you like actually know someone and you spend time with them, you don't know anything about them. So how can you be like so judgmental of them or think that they're like a bad person? Because we all do like bad things at some point in time. And some of us either we decide not to do that anymore because we know it's bad, or some of us just don't know. Um, of course, there are some things that are just like absolutely heinous, but I'm not going to go into that because that's not exactly my point. It's just, I feel like I get stuck in this black and white thinking all the time, even though in other situations I'm very much like neutral and exploring the gray areas. But when it comes to me, I'm like, it's either this way or it's that way. And it's really restricting. And I know I need to be easier on myself because I really wanted to talk about self love in this particular video diary just because Valentine's Day is coming up and I never really cared for it, but I don't think that particularly matters. I think it's more of a thing where people prioritize romantic love over other love. And I think there's so much love in the world that we could use. And I think self love is definitely extremely important. Um, and when it comes to like love, for me, it's just something that I don't feel like I have a lot in my life. And when I say this, I just want to be clear that I know there's people that love me and I love them too. It's just one of those things where it's like I have a really hard time believing people. And I'm really trying to work on that, but it's hard. It's hard to hear people say things to you and it's just air. Like it doesn't feel like there's any weight to it. It doesn't feel real. Like you're just saying it just to say it. Because there's been people who have said like that to me, and sometimes I get like really weird about it too. I can't say it. Sometimes I feel really weird about it because I don't hear it often and I don't say it often. So I get like really awkward when people use that language around me, and even when I try to like say it, I can say love easy, but saying like other things not super easy. Sorry, I keep like playing with my hair because I like noticed like the frizzies and it bugs me. I'm trying not to stare at myself the whole time though. It's like one of those things where you're in a like a Zoom meeting or something and you can't stop looking at yourself, and it's not in like an egotistical kind of way. It's just like, do I look weird? Am I being weird? Am I acting normal? And like what is normal anyways? But I think the world could use some more love, and especially just like loving ourselves. I've hated myself for a very long time. I mean, I still do. I just try to like, if I say something negative about myself, I try to say something nice after. Doesn't usually work. I call it microdosing self-hatred because I can't quit it cold turkey. So there's that. I think I'm slowly getting there. I mean, it's a process. When you've been driven by self-hatred for majority of your life, it's hard to not use that as a motivator. Because it's like, oh, well, I hate the way I look. I hate my body. I hate this. I hate that. And it's like, well, I can fix it. But then when you're kind of driven by hate, then it's easier to fall off the bandwagon, I think. Because if you miss a day, or maybe you eat too much, or something doesn't go your way, it's very easy to be like, well, I suck. I'm crap. I should stop doing this. And that's kind of been my mentality this past week, honestly. I was really sad a lot of the days this past week, and I'm feeling better now, but it still feels like one of those things that's kind of just like haunting me. It's like lingering and waiting for me to like walk back into the void. But I try to be easier on myself. Because if I was feeling sad and I didn't get anything done, I would definitely beat myself up over it instead of being like, you were having a really hard day. And it's okay that you were having a hard day, and maybe tomorrow we can try again. And I guess I have been doing things. I guess I just always feel like I need to be doing more, because some days it's just like 5 hours pass and I'm just like, what have I been doing? Like, I don't know. My memory is like a half opened can of baked beans. It's been sitting in the fridge for a week. Like, it smells kind of funky, but it might still do the trick. I don't know. I I've been trying to journal, like bullet journal, and I started with a dopamine journal, which you just kind of write one thing a day and then summarize your month when the month ends. So it's pretty like low maintenance and easy, I think. But I thought if I was doing that, then my memory would like improve, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I need to like flip through my journal to be like, okay, yeah, this is what I've been doing. And I hope maybe someday it might improve. I don't know how to improve it. I know that if you are feeling stressed or you're anxious or depressed, that it's harder to remember things because you're not necessarily present, because you're just trying to like get through that moment until the next. And I don't know. It just sucks when you keep finding yourself like in this hole, and like the sadness is just it's a lot. And I know that I can talk to people, but I feel like a lot of the time I'm just kind of a broken record. Like, it's always the same stuff. And then I feel like I'm just annoying people. And there's also a thing where sometimes it kind of just makes everything worse talking about it, because it's like not exactly, I don't want to say that I'm not getting what I want, but it's a lot of the time I just kind of want to be validated, and I just want to know that like I'm sorry that you're struggling, and I'm sorry that this hurts. Um I can just sit with here with you. And I think a lot of people just try to like fix you or fix me. It's like, oh, well, have you I don't take medication anymore. I don't find it super helpful for me particularly. But it was always like anytime I was sad, it was, are you taking your medication? Are you seeing your therapist? And It just, those things are important, but I don't want to say rely on because I feel like that paints it in a bad picture, but it's like at some point I have to learn to help myself. Like, I go to therapy to have tools to be able to cope with these things. But if I don't know how to use those tools or I can't find a way to effectively cope with these things, then like, what am I doing? And maybe that's like, maybe some people might think that that's me being hard on myself. And my, that's not what I'm trying to do. I know there are moments where I am very much like a little too rude to myself, but I just, I want things to be different. I don't want to feel this way anymore. And I think when I have those moments of frustration, it's because that I feel so stuck and like ashamed that I'm still dealing with this, like after so many years. But I'm trying my best. It's just, it feels never ending. And all of the time, like, I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just hope that maybe one day I will get there. Maybe. I'm hoping. I'm banking on the fact that one day I hope, cross my fingers, that things will feel better because it doesn't, a lot of stuff just doesn't feel worth it. And I spend a lot of time trying to convince myself that I can do something. I can make the best out of my situation, but then I lose the motivation so easily because my mood just, I don't know. I try really hard, but it just feels like I'm fighting a losing battle. But I hope that I can continue to grow and learn about myself and be a little less scared to exist and just make things that I genuinely like making. Um, I've kind of just been like lost in like minimum wage jobs where I honestly keep getting discriminated, which isn't super nice, but it doesn't feel worth it for me to do anything about it. Like, it's in the past now and I'm not going to go back there, so I don't see what the point is. But you live and you learn. I think this turned out a little, it was kind of dark, I'm not gonna lie. Um, but it's just, it's how I feel, and I can't help how I feel. I know that sometimes these things can be scary for people to hear or experience, but like, you're not the only one that feels this way. And I know that like sometimes there's certain people that I tell things to and they get really uncomfortable, which is understandable. I don't mean to like put an elephant in the room, but it's just, it is what it is. And I can't change it. And I feel like people keep telling me I need to deal with my emotions, but as soon as I express them, it's like, that's bad. That's no, you shouldn't do that." But I am trying to get away from that. And I'm hoping this next week I can feel just a little more comfortable existing. And I mean, there's some things that I'm like looking forward to, I think, like next week. And I hope that something cool happens. Well, I'm specifically talking about this game that I play. There's like this live stream that's happening, and I'm crossing my fingers that something cool will happen. But I'm not gonna hold my breath because I think I'd be holding my breath for a long time. But yeah, um, I think for some other maybe next video diaries, I might do a little bit of like crochet while I talk, but we'll see how that would go. I don't know. I'm trying to brainstorm some things just to like, excuse me, give me something to do, or just like not to do, but like to activate my brain, like the creativity in my brain, because I feel like a lot of my creativity kind of, well, it feels a little stunted or like held down or contained. And like I crochet a lot, but I feel like my creativity isn't quite being utilized in the way that I want it to, or I'm just not really creating a lot of things. But I think that is it for me. I hope you have a good day and stay safe. I also want to mention one thing is that my eyes probably look really red. Makeup makes my eyes feel like they're dying. I'm not even like wearing eyeshadow. I'm wearing um like a glitter like my brain is not working, like a liquid eyeshadow. But like I don't know if I like get something in my eyes, like powder from like the foundation, but my eyes get so irritated, or maybe I'm like allergic to something. Not sure. But I'm probably gonna go take that off now because yeah, it doesn't feel very good. Anyways,